Started with the draw at Ipswich Town, 1-1 it finished in Ruben Amorim's first game in charge. Jamie Carragher is here, and so too Gary Neville, who was watching on at the weekend from afar. Gary, what were your impressions? Were they positive after that first game?
I don't know about that. I mean, I think that we were all intrigued before the game to see how it would go. I think when I saw the team sheet, I worried a little bit about the lack of pace. I think that obviously I wasn't quite sure how they were going to set up, to be honest with you, to begin with, when you looked at the actual 11. But when you saw him on the pitch, you saw Mazraoui, De Ligt and Evans as a back three and Casemiro and Eriksen in midfield, you know full well that five that are at the heart of the team there basically haven't got the pace or the energy, and they've got obviously quite a bit of age between them. So I was worried about how they were going to keep compact and pushing up the pitch and keep that high energy game. And United started well, obviously, but they fell back in a little bit to sort of how they've been recently in the previous months. As the game went on, I thought Ipswich were the better team in the first half, and I think that he obviously used the players that he'd been working with most in the training that hadn't been away with internationals, and that obviously reflected the fact that the team he picked. But I think moving forward, you'll see a lot stronger performance level when obviously the players who are, I think, probably higher energy and younger come into that 11.
Before the manager came in, Gary, you've been speaking about Manchester United going to a back three. You think it would have helped them under Erik ten Hag. Who do you think would be the winners in the squad in terms of changing to this system?
I mean, I think Luke Shaw, if he can keep fit, because I think that ideally you play sort of that left centre-back can play sort of to, can go out, that left centre-back and right centre-back have got to be able to go out and play right back and left back, I think. So obviously we saw Mazraoui do it yesterday. I think Ugarte will be a winner, not just because I think in midfield, he just because he's played for him before. I think it's how you fit in the likes of Rashford, Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes. Because one thing you know with that system, you've got two wing backs, you've got a back three, and you've got a two in front. It's then that three, which obviously the two that he likes to play sort of come inside a little bit. So you're wondering about sort of Ahmad played obviously wide yesterday, but Garnacho, Rashford, Højlund, Xerxes, Fernandes, that's the conundrum of those attacking positions where I can't quite see what's going to happen. I think Mainu and Ugarte, for me, play in midfield. I think they're absolute certs. I think Luke Shaw's a certainty to play. I think he would be anyway in a back four or a back three. I think ultimately you'll end up with Yoro as the right centre-back. I think just because of that energy and that pace. So I think the winners will be the ones who I think are adaptable, who can maybe sort of, if you like, interchange from a 3 to a 4. Because when we played with the back five with Terry Venables or a back three with Glenn Hoddle, the outer fullback, the outer centre-backs do have to be able to go out wide. So I think the ones who are more flexible and agile are going to be the winners.
He's made it very clear, Gary. I think he said it to you as well. There is only one way, and that is his new way. Is there going to be some short-term pain?
I mean, I think that will have hit him straight away when he saw that performance. I mean, at the end of the game, we saw the stat that was put on us in the post-match from Sky, where it showed that United ran 102k, which I think was obviously pretty low. The lack of energy. I mean, he said to me in the interview on Thursday that the one thing that he wants to change straight away is the athleticism of this team and the athleticism of the squad. I don't think he was just referring there to getting them fitter. I think he was actually referring to actually them just running more. I spoke to him about his Sporting Lisbon team and the fact that they were just a high-energy team. They were all absolute sort of dogs when they were out of possession. And you look at that Manchester United team, they haven't got good standards out of possession, whether that's, you know, whether that's in the last 6 months or whether that's in the last 2 years. They just don't have the level of work that the teams in the league seem to have. And that yesterday was apparent again. So I think there is a real issue that's obviously Ruben Amorim at the end of that game will know a lot more than he would have done before the game in respect of just looking at the lack of energy in that team compared to what he would ordinarily have expected back in Portugal with the team he managed.
Looking at Marcus Rashford, he decided to go with him right through the middle, and you know the debate was, could he play in one of those number 10 positions? Do you think right now, because of the fact he brought Højlund on for him, it is actually one or the other? Because you're talking about your guy who's probably your highest paid player there in Marcus Rashford, and also a young striker who's still trying to find his way at Manchester United, but is also coming for a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, look, I look back at the fact that most of the Manchester United managers in the last, 5, 6, 7 years have played Marcus Rashford as a left-sided striker, left-sided forward. That's where I think he's best, just purely because there's two things. I think to play centre forward in a football team on your own, you have to be, I think, intelligent and understand where to be and sort of when to be there. And I don't think Marcus plays like that. I think he's more instinctive. And you also have to be really good at holding the ball up and being able to bring people into play, which I don't think is his strength either. His strength is always when he's got space in front of him or he's running through on that left side. So again, I'm not quite sure how that fits. And I think you're right. We saw yesterday, after 65 minutes, even though obviously Marcus had scored a goal, that he brought on Xerxes and Hoyland, obviously trying to get both of them in. But you're right. I think it'll be one or the other. I don't think you'll be able to get. I don't think you'll be able to get both of them in the team unless he plays Marcus a bit wider on the left. He could do that, but I think Garnacho probably is more suited to coming into pockets. Marcus is not a player who comes into pockets, so I think that will be a concern to play him on that left-sided sort of, if you like, position that Ruben Amorim likes.